I'm Luke Chow from the Morpheus Clinic for Hypnosis in Toronto, Canada, where we make hypnosis make sense. Today's video is about what hypnosis is and isn't useful for. I thought about titling this video, What Hypnosis Can and Cannot Help With, but I know that other practitioners, other hypnotists will disagree with me as to whether or not hypnosis can help with a particular issue. So saying whether or not it's useful frames this conversation as when hypnosis is an ideal option, or perhaps even the best option, as opposed to when hypnosis can plausibly help under certain specific circumstances. If you aren't too familiar with my practice, my principles, and the way that I do and teach hypnosis, I'm just going to do a brief recap of what hypnosis is. Essentially, it's a state of mind induced by another person, the hypnotist, such that the client is able to accept new ideas and new attitudes more readily. It's this heightened ability to accept new ideas and perspectives that allows people to make the changes that they do. That makes hypnosis much more useful for putting things into your head than for pulling thoughts or ideas or memories out of your head. Some other hypnotists might disagree with me, but I believe the way to rapid change is clearly and as effectively as possible communicating attitudes that successful people have in the client's situation. Sometimes if you search the client's mind, if you kind of take a flashlight and shine it around the dark room, you might gain some interesting insights, but often it's a wild goose chase. Often it's the long way around compared to the client just hearing how other people do it better. To summarize, hypnosis can help whenever the problem that you have will benefit from a change in perspective or a change in attitude. This covers a lot of ground. It covers many issues relating to confidence. It covers many bad habits that people have, and it also covers many motivational issues. So under this umbrella, we have quitting smoking, we have losing weight, we have overcoming fears. These are the kinds of issues that are the bread and butter of most hypnosis practices, and it's what people generally know hypnosis is good for. In my experience, hypnosis is better for reminding you of what is true and reassuring, or true and inspiring, in this great big world of ideas than it is for getting you to believe in fantasy ideas, or what we might call toxic positivity. In some of my other videos, I talk about toxic positivity as something that is often espoused by self-help practitioners or gurus, but which, again, creates fantasy worlds. So I'm going to borrow a little bit from Orwell in saying that hypnosis is better for reminding you that 2 + 2 actually does equal 4 than it is for convincing you that 2 + 2 equals 5. To give you a common example, when we work with a client for weight loss, we don't say or suggest that hypnosis in itself can cause weight loss. Weight loss ultimately comes from eating fewer calories than you consume on a long enough basis. And there is really no way around that one way or another. There are tricks you could do for your diet or things you could do to become more active, but you do have to expend more calories than you take in. So with hypnosis, we can help with things like loving your body more and loving your body enough that you can exercise and feed it well the way you might for a beloved pet. We can do things like have you see a vision of a long-term future that is realistic and achievable, as well as all the stepping stones to get you from point A to point B. We can also help you overcome challenges by giving you the perspectives and attitudes of people who face the same challenges and are able to overcome them. For example, if we frame feelings of hunger as an intentional fast, meaning that you're on the right track to burning fat, then the feeling that you get when you feel hungry doesn't have as much of the desire to alleviate the hunger, and instead it is seen as a good thing. Having said that, there are many issues we don't work with. We don't and we can't cure physical illnesses. We can't and don't really treat many mental illnesses either. So anything that can't be resolved with a shift in perspective or by thinking differently, such as clinical depression, is going to be better worked through long-term therapy than a few sessions of hypnosis. The best that we can do for some physical issues like pain management is to help you better manage the symptoms and to have a more positive, forward-looking attitude about the problems that you have. Generally, we don't help with memory retrieval, including past life regression. The one exception is that if the memory can easily be corroborated with real-world evidence, such as if you're remembering the combination to your safe, or your Bitcoin password, or some detail like where you might have misplaced or hidden an object, we might be able to help, although the success rate sometimes is low enough that other means or other routes might be more feasible and more advisable. We don't help people to figure themselves out. Sometimes I'll use the analogy that I'm kind of like an Uber driver in that I don't tell you what your problems are, and I don't tell you what you should do with your life. Instead, I let you, the client, decide what issues you want to work with and ideally where you want to go. And my job largely is to help you figure out how to get from point A to point B with the stepping stones that we suggest. If you can't tell us what point B is, if you are seeking help to figure yourself out or to figure out what you want to do with your life or to figure out your next career path, I believe that quiet introspection without the influence of another person is a better way to go about it. Now, if you have decided that you want to commit to a career that requires many years of training and you want the extra push, then we can help you with that. But we can't really help you make decisions, and I don't want to be in a situation where I'm influencing a client in a direction that they wouldn't have gone in if they were left to their own thinking and their own contemplation. We do not participate in family conspiracies to semi- or non-consensually help a person. One of the fundamental beliefs that I communicate to people, or at least that I reinforce in people, is that each person, at least each adult, is the captain of their own ship. Each adult is the authority over their own life. And for us to undermine an adult's decision-making by covertly working with family members to trick them into being hypnotized, not something I would do, even if I could. And finally, there are some hypnotists out there claiming that hypnosis can help with some things that are extremely implausible or even a little bit ridiculous, such as using hypnosis in order to win the lottery, or using hypnosis to get your ex back through no other means other than, wishing for it or wanting it. So I'm going to put those issues under the category of law of attraction. I think there is a grain of truth in the so-called law of attraction, but I think the way it's usually taught and practiced is more wishful thinking or sometimes toxic positivity than it is a feasible or realistic way to achieve the goals that you have. So we're not going to participate in anything, even if the client believes in it, that we believe is just going to put people in fantasy worlds or that's going to prevent them from taking real actionable steps to get what they want to get. So those are my thoughts on some of the things hypnosis can and cannot help with. I've given you some broad categories for what we can help with and some more specific details about what we can't or won't help with. Again, other practitioners might disagree. I can only speak from my own experience and my own practice. If I had a different set of clientele with different problems, I might think differently about some of these matters. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a comment below. If you enjoyed this content, please click like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Again, it's Luke Chow from the Morpheus Clinic for Hypnosis in Toronto, Canada, where we make hypnosis make sense.